All right. Woo! What a day. I started a half hour later than I usually do on Tuesdays. And the reason is because I was having a meeting with some guys, one in Mexico and one in Colombia, discussing the Spanish side because the Spanish version of Carm is down. And we're discussing various things and options and how to get it going. And I got a lot of work to do, but it was fun for me, given that I was practicing my Spanish. So learned some new words, and these two guys are great. So I've got a Spanish, I practice that quite a bit. So that's why I'm a half hour late. I know that people were uh, waiting. I wanted to see. I was going to do this tonight, so I didn't think it was going to take that long, but it did. Sorry, I'm speaking quickly because I speak quickly in Spanish. For some reason, I speak very quickly in Spanish. Right, slow down a little bit. Um, okay, so I went to Manti. Manti, we'll talk about that a little bit. Some interesting stuff happened. And I got a lot of film. I did some videos on camera and I did some videos on Facebook with the phone. But Manti is the central part of Utah. So if you were to just draw an X from corner to corner type thing in Utah, Manti is basically in the center. And, well, excuse me. Oh boy, sorry about that. And so once a year in June, they have a 2 week play. And if you knew the layout, just picture hey Matt, talking about the Manti thing, just picture a flat area, and then all of a sudden there's this hill, like a pop up in the middle of the town kind of a thing. And this hill might be 100 feet tall. And so they do a play on the side of that hill, and there's a temple up on the top of that hill. It's one of the first ones built in Utah. And it's old, and they're going to be renovating it. Well, what's been happening for decades, is that the Mormons have been gathering there at Manti, and Christians have been going there and witnessing and sharing the gospel with them. And it's just grown. So the Mormon church finally said no more anti-Mormon miracle pageant. Manti, that's the city, Mormon miracle pageant, an anti-Mormon miracle pageant. And the play that they produce, the play that they produce on the side of the hill is, let's just say, not that good. And I just realized that you guys may not be able to even hear me. Oh, I got so much stuff going on. You able to hear me okay? I didn't have my settings
Definitely
correct
better now.
because I've been talking for 5 minutes. And you hear me okay?
I
Yes?
can, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. But I just realized I didn't set the things to the first. Um, anyway, I'll just continue. I was talking about the Manti pageant and what happened, and how many thousands and thousands and thousands of Mormons were showing up. And we had probably 200 or 300 Christians from all over. We had a guy from Tanzania. There was a guy from England. People from all over. Was a lady from Canada. Another lady from uh, Anchorage, Alaska. And so people were just converging all over the place. They're passing out literature, signs, holding up signs. I did open air and talked to people, and it was really a great encounter. There's a guy there I'd never heard of this guy, an up and coming 19-year-old Mormon guy. He's a black guy, and Kwaku. And they said, "You got to meet Kwaku." I go, "Who's that?" And oh, he's a Mormon apologist who studies theology. I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's see how well he knows." So what I did was, let me turn this, make sure this is off. What I did was I finally met the guy, and turns out that what he wanted to do was control the conversation. And so he got this camera, and a girl was holding it, and he goes, "Okay, let's interview you." I said, "Fine." So he starts asking me these questions, um, and he said, "Is Anne Frank in hell?" And I said, "If she didn't receive Christ, yeah, didn't trust in Jesus." "How about Mother Teresa?" "Yes." "How about the slaves who died on the ships coming over?" I said, "Look, if they don't trust in Christ, they're lost."
And basically he goes, see, there you go. And he goes, well, I guess we're done with the conversation. I go, whoa, hold on. I get to ask you some questions. And, I said, look, the thing is that the gospel message, you're not saved because you're sincere, nice, or good. It has to be with Jesus. We got into this conversation about having seen the Father, if Joseph Smith could have seen the Father, and went through the scriptures. And after a while, he asked that we not film anymore. And that was a big deal. Apparently, people said that he always wants to film everything, but he said, nope, we're done filming. And he called me a few names and stormed off. But I said something, and he came right back, and we got talking some more. And I got probably 15 minutes of film of him, so I got to go through that and put it up on the web, and hopefully we'll see if he can recover from just failure, I guess you could say. So we had another friend of mine who was talking to a Mormon who was going to go on his mission, and the Mormon was defending Mormonism. And Nathan, what he did was, Nathan, my friend, he was talking to him, and when he was done talking to him, the Mormon said he's not going on his mission. He's done. Can't do it. So then they prayed together. There are people who received Christ. It was a great time, and by God's grace, it was not like it normally is temperature-wise in the 90s, 95, 98, and normally it's not a big deal. But when you're standing out there on pavement for hours in heat, and you make notice to get a little bit of sun. My wife noticed right away, but being out there that long like that, it'll wear on you. And so a lot of times I go back to a room and just relax, for a bit, because it is a bit demanding. But at any rate, it was a great experience, and they stopped doing. The Mormon Church put an end to the Mormon pageant, and so that's it. So we don't know what we're going to be doing next year, but there's some other things that happen in Utah, so I might be going to Utah for other witnessing opportunities. Anyway, I just thought I would give a brief lowdown on that. How you guys doing? Didn't expect me to just drop the ball on you there. Say, okay, talk, go ahead. Just scrambling.
Doing okay over here. Just working in summer, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Good. Well, we're still on track to move to Arizona. And
oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, we're end of the year type thing. I don't know when it's going to happen exactly, but we're having some financial difficulties, as everybody does, now and then, and so we're not exactly sure what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, that we're going to get the money together. But it'll work. Lord provides. We got a little bit saved up for it. So, and let's see what else. I think it's about it. But I just spent an hour on talking in Spanish and in English with some guys about the Spanish side of CARM. It's been down for over a week, and various problems that we're having with it. And I had to talk to the board of directors, and I've got to get some things going with them and find out what the best avenue and approach is to tackle some of the problems that are left over from the past 2 years. Estoy enojado de la Junta. I'm angry about the board, and it just makes me mad how things have gone, and I got to clean up the mess. No tengo confiar en la Junta. There, that makes you feel better. I say I've been thinking Spanish now for an hour, and so I gotta not speak in Spanish. So I don't have any confidence in the board. I said, okay, well, so anyway, let's talk about something else. How you guys doing? Oh, cameras! Look at that. You guys want to talk about anything? Got any comments or questions? Anything you want to get into? Let's see. There we go. No, that's it.
I'm going to test my mic here.
What's that? You're testing your mic? Okay.
Marlene's coming in.
God bless you.
Hey, Marlene.
Say it again.
So, and also I've been thinking about some things about this thing here I do on Patreon and some other things. In a while, when I kind of get settled down with some stuff, I'm going to start revamping some procedures and what I'm doing in a lot of different areas. It's going to take a while, but that's the goal anyway, is to change a few things, be more efficient, or as people like to say, more better.
More better. That's right. More gooder.
More gooder. Yeah. So that's coming down the road, but that'll be a bit down later. And I want to do more than just, blab, though blabbing is good. But I just do some teaching. Some of the atheists are making thousands of dollars a month, thousands and thousands of dollars a month. The atheists just flock into other atheist leaders, so to speak, and then try and have, do these teaching things, do this weird stuff. Hold on a sec. I got so much stuff going on. To which email address? And yeah, so it's just been busy. I had a slow morning. And by the way, so my novel is I'm halfway through editing it. For the first edit, I got to do at least 2 more after that. But I'm willing to let some people start looking at it if they're interested and want to do some edit and some commentary on it. So if someone wants to, let me know.
Sure.
So we can talk about that if you're interested. See if you like it, if it hooks you. Like I said, you so many chapters and stuff in Word. Whew. I discovered I'm not very good at baking chicken. I'll learn how to do that. Other than that, that's about it. Come on. Feed me here. What do you guys got?
Okay. Yesterday on the show, I think it was yesterday, somebody called in. I think it was, yeah. And they were asking you about the faith that Jesus had for God and
Right.
scripture and stuff. Did you ever look into that? Have you had that chance yet? Or
Yeah, it was Hebrews 5 was the verses that I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
And where is that? But I was thinking about expanding the article. But get this, I can't edit anything on Carm right now. Something's happened. I'm suspecting a hacker's gotten into everything. We're having some issues. So, I could tell you, I am so tired of all of the trouble I have all the time in every area.
Yeah.
It's just one more thing after another. And boy, I'll tell you, now it looks like I won't say what, but some stuff was hacked and stuff.
Well, you're planning on this transition and sort of making things even gooder, better, more. So, of course, this is going to come up right now. Remember that Satan's like, oh, he thinks he's going to, make things more efficient and better and what have you. So this is my time to go in and make it worse. So just hang tight, hang strong. Know that God has got this. And just, think of it as a blessing if you can, that Satan's recognizing the work that's being done for God. And,
yeah, he's got a lot of people helping him too.
Right.
So it's a bit discouraging, and with everything that's going on, it is a bit disconcerting. But nevertheless, that's what it is, and there's other little variables and factors that are involved with it that I'm getting concerned about. And then I just found out that about the new Carm site. I'm supposed to fly to Texas, Austin, Texas, at the end of next month for a board meeting.
Wow.
And they said let's just wait. We'll just wait till then we can discuss everything. I'm like, no, now discuss it now. Let's get going in a direction. The board just, in my opinion, drops the ball. big time. I gotta tell them that too. I'm just not happy with them. Okay, this is like a bitching session for me, isn't it?
If you need it, let it go. At least here you're with friends, so.
Yeah, it's true. But I'll tell you, it does get old fighting. I feel like I'm always pushing a rock uphill. I'm doing this for decades, and it's starting to take its toll. That's all I can say. So anyway, anybody got any comments or questions?
I might
No,
ask
huh?
something if nobody does. I
Sure.
can always think of something, whether it's, enriching
Okay.
or not. That's different. But
All right.
okay. So I was informed by somebody in authority in the church, that if your marriage is not right and on board and aligned with God, then your the things that you do for God would be affected.
That's
Like
true.
the ministry. What was that?
It's true.
Okay. So I think, at what point, because if it's, if right now you're doing okay with God, I don't think anybody could ever say they're perfect with God and their walk is amazing. But if your spouse at this point is having the struggles and the stumbles, and all you can do is pray for them and support them and do the best that you can do. But at the end of the day, you can't make them believe. You can't make them get back, pick up the walk again, and so on. At this point, are you supposed to let go of the ministries and let go of everything? Because the conflict that I see in there then is that you become, in that situation, for example, with me, let's say, I would become, anything that I was doing for God and serving God and whatnot, I would have to lay that down because I need to focus on the marriage, which.
Right, and that's correct. If
Mhm.
there's a ministry that anybody's involved with, and their marriage is going downhill on the rocks, they're going to stop everything and work on their marriage. That's what they should do. I mean, within reason, you know.
Right.
Um,
Right.
And so let's say, use me as an example. I head up this car ministry, radio. What if we're having marriage problems and they're getting serious? Do I stop everything? Well, it's not easy to just stop everything because it's so entrenched. But I could go to counseling and then continue to work uh, and have the elders of the church say, well, yeah, keep going. And, you're working through everything. And let's say she was a problem. Then, okay, it's not affecting me in that sense that spiritually. But if I was a problem, then they'd probably go, okay, now you got to step back.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some variables in there, but the general idea is that that's it.
Okay.
So
All right. Thank you.
okay, good. How about anything else? Come on, you guys have got to have something. I cannot believe you guys don't have something. So you like coming in here and talking with me? Just because we don't even hardly do anything.
I do, but like I said, I have to edit myself because it'll start off maybe on point in Christianity, and then I've realized I've walked all the way down the road and into the next state, and we're on a whole other subject, and I'm trying to be respectful of others.
Yeah, that's fine. Ask something. That's okay.
Just answering questions. Somebody looking for Kent on your Discord.
Okay. Well, I'm waiting.
Okay, then. Oh, Matthew's got a question.
All right. Where was man? 2 Kings 8. Can you explain Elisha restoring the boy to life? All right. What about restoring him? What's the question or the issue? Oh, was it a resurrection? There's different kinds of resurrection, at least. To one that we know that in New Testament, Lazarus came forth. That was a resurrection, but not a glorified body resurrection. The only glorified body resurrection is Jesus. So if someone is just dead, flat out dead, and they're dead, and then they're raised from the dead, that's a resurrection. So let's see, what exactly was those verse? It says that Elijah restored him to life. So I'd say it was a resurrection. Yep. In verse 2 Kings 8:5. Yeah. So if it was a resurrection, he lived and he died later, just like Lazarus would have died later. Could you imagine people going and talking to him about stuff? He comes into a room. That's the guy who was dead. Yeah, I don't know if you'd be invited back to the parties, Anyway, celebrations, because that could freak a lot of people out. Anybody else? Got any comments? No?
I forgot to put down that was John 16:33 for you. No, somebody asked earlier, at the end times when we're all raised up, would that be considered full resurrection? Is it not clear? Is it, the sinners, those who are not saved, are they resurrected as well? And then they go down, or have they been down already? I think it's just somebody that's like trying to find little hairs to split, but
when I'm not sure if I'm following you, but the issue is that there will be a resurrection of those who are alive and remain on the earth, but it'll occur after the resurrection of those who have died previously at the rapture time. So
okay, perfect.
there'll be a resurrection of the dead, and then we who are alive and remain shall be caught up. That's generally considered a resurrection right there. We'll be glorified at that point. Just change into our bodies. That seems to be what it teaches, and I'm hoping that I'm in that generation because I don't like needles and all that scary stuff in hospitals.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the only one who says that, but any rate, so that's what they think, that resurrection there. The first resurrected person in a glorified body, of course, is Jesus, and we're all going to follow suit. That's 1 Corinthians 15:35 through 45. And that's what we're talking about there. So it'll happen. It'll happen in the future, and we're guaranteed that. In fact, what a lot of people don't realize, and I've talked about this before, maybe you'll remember it, but if you go to Romans 9:29, Romans 8:29, Romans 8:29, it says this, and notice the tenses of the verbs, past tense, future tense, whatever. For those whom he foreknew, that's past tense, he also predestined, past tense, to be conformed. Now it's kind of a weird one, to become conformed. So it's a past tense future kind of usage, but at any rate, to the image of his son, so that he would be the firstborn among many brethren. And those whom he predestined, past tense, those he also called, past tense, those whom he called, past tense, he also justified, past tense, and those whom he justified, past tense, those he also glorified, past tense. Notice that the glorification is spoken of by Paul in the past tense. And why is that? The glorification, right? So if you go to 1 Corinthians 15:35, I've talked about this before, you probably already know this, but it's a good reminder. Verse 35, how are the dead raised? What kind of body did they come? You fool, that which you sow does not come to life unless it dies. And that which you sow, do not sow the body, which is to be but a bare grain, perhaps of wheat or something else. God gives to it a body as he wishes. All flesh is not the same flesh. Also heavenly bodies, when glory of the sun, of the moon. Verse 42. So also is a resurrection of the dead. It is sown a perishable body is raised an imperishable body. It is sown in dishonor, raised in glory. Is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. Say, sown a natural body, raised a spiritual body. So it's raised in glory, raises a spiritual body. So what we're talking about here is the glorification. That is our resurrection. It's another word for resurrection, the glorification. So when you go back to Romans 3, Romans 8:20 or 8:30, to be glorified is a future event that's spoken of in the past tense. Why?
Is that because predestination God knew, or
Because God what?
God, ordained for this to happen? He knew this was going to happen, or it had already happened for him?
He knew it was going to happen. It already happened for him. Not
I know,
quite.
I'm all over the place.
What do you think? The
It had been
predestined,
done.
the predestined and the called ones are all set in the mind of
Okay.
God eternally. And our glorification is so guaranteed that it's said to already have occurred.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
So that's what I see in that. All right. Whew, man. So you are interested in checking out the sci-fi novel?
Oh yeah, I think we all were. I think even Cowbell was as well, but I don't want to speak for sure for him.
Okay. Well, what we can do is, man. Well, I'm tired. Sorry, just a lot going on. It's hard to switch gears and so many things all at once. And it's just been, once the day started, I got up and I worked on a few things. And then about the time of the radio show, a little before, it just hit the fan.
No.
And that's what it is. So you want me to send you the file of the...
Sure. Thank you.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I will send, if you want it, whoever wants it, let me know. And I'll send you half of the book.
Okay.
Do you have Word by any chance?
I do.
Okay. And what you can do is open it up in there, and then you can just make comments in a different color. Doesn't matter, because I have the original file here, and so all I got to do is just look through what you say,
Okay.
and I'll tell you what I'm looking for. Let's see. Come on. I think that's where I'm at. We'll go up to, whoops. All right. Okay, good. Now I know what to do. All right. I'll give you the first 14 chapters.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. And you can tell me if you like it. Okay.
Oh, Matt and Marlene are saying, yay, they've got Word too.
All right. Well, tell you what, if you want me
I
to
think
send
that's
it
a
to you,
hint.
all right, if you want me to send it to you, and remember, this is how we do it, and it still needs to be edited some more. Okay. So if you find some blatant typos, highlight it. If you find sentences that just don't sound right, go ahead and highlight it, make comments and things like that. I'm interested in if it flows nicely. What I'll do is I'll put that in there. Let's see, do this. Whoops. Oh, you slime bag. Interested in the flow, descriptions, dialogue, continuity, and believability. It's kind of a subjective thing. highlight anything you want in, say, I don't know, green. And when you're done, send it back to me. There we go.
Well, thank you. Do you have my email?
I'm going to have you guys put it in there right now. Okay, hold on a sec. We need to talk in 15 minutes. Okay. It's like one of those days, you know, got things going on. I'm trying to coordinate and do stuff. All right. Okay. So let's talk 15. Okay, in 15. Good. All right. So I'm going to do, I got that, the file. And now all I got to do is do this. Share. That's what it is. Email. Send as attachment. Come on, you can do it. Do the attachment thing. I'm talking to my computer. And let's hope that works. All right, need some email addresses. So I'm going to go over here. And there's that one. Okay. And all right. Okay. You. It doesn't work. Nothing's a different thing.
Oh no.
Of course. What am I thinking? Yeah. Okay, let's do this. All right, there. Reverse it. Let's see. Go here. Get the email addresses. Put them in there. Matt's book times called Times End. That's the title. Like the end of time, times end. First half. Or I'll do it this way. Chapters 1 to 14. And what I'm going to do is now go find a way to attach it. And then it'll go inside of Gmail. I was trying something else. It didn't work. And then I got to check with my wife. She's having problems today. Then I got to have another meeting here in a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, we're definitely keeping her in our prayers. I know it just kind of sounds a little, I don't know, cliche or whatever, but definitely she's in our prayers.
Oh yeah. It's been fun. Life is fun. It's work. All right, here we go.
But when you guys move out, you're closer, so I would love to pop out and see you guys.
Oh sure, no problem. All right, so there. All right, so it's on its way, and so just so you guys know, I'm not sensitive about that what didn't make any sense here. Not gonna hurt my feelings. It doesn't bother me. So what I'm looking for is you're reading through it and it flows smoothly enough so that you don't realize that there's a problem. Sometimes you read something and you go, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense because over like that, and that word phrase wasn't right. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm also looking to see if you think it's interesting, if it hooks you. Because I like to write things that get people going, okay, what's next? What's next? You know, and that's happening here. So slowly building up to the end. So anyway, all
I
right.
look forward to it.
I sent it to you, so you guys should have it.
Awesome. Yep, I see it right now. I have graveyards. I work graveyards tonight, so I might have some time on my hands.
All right. Yeah. And so if you have any comments, you can just highlight something. And I think I may have highlighted some stuff in bold in chapter 14. That was because I had to keep track of a certain pattern of language. So if you see that, I forgot to unbold it in chapter 14, 13 or 14. it has to do with panels and stuff. It's just like, what's the procedure for that one? So I put it in bold so I could go back and see it. Then I forgot to unbold it. No big deal. But yeah, just highlight stuff and make comments. You can make comments in like green or something, or red, whatever you want, and that way I'll just look right where it's at. Put it in
Awesome.
parentheses, and hey, yeah, or I don't get it. In fact, Diane Sellner, I don't know if you know who she was. She passed away last year. But Diane
yeah.
Sellner, she worked with us at Carmen. When I wrote The Influence, I gave it to her. And the whole book, and it took her a couple of weeks, but she gave it back, and she had some comments. She actually pointed out where the timeline and something did not work, and I had to go in and make a correction. I didn't see it; she did, so that was great, because
Okay.
it took 5 hours, but I had it in 2, or it took 2 hours, but I had it in 5. One of those things that didn't quite make sense, because the problem is when you're so in it, everything makes sense. But you don't know if you conveyed it to make sense. That's the problem.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking for, that and stuff like that. Sound good?
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Sure. So don't spread it around, okay? And
No.
and then when you guys give me back the files, I can go through it again, because I got to go write it again. I got to go and edit it at least 2 more times, the entire book. It's a full-blown novel, so takes a lot of work to do this, but I have to get it done, because you can't just do one chapter and a week later, a month later, do another chapter, because you'll forget what's in the first chapter, and you got to hear the flow, and that's why. So, and the first half of the book is what you've got. Should be interesting. The second half of the book, yikes.
You just did that just to mess with us and make sure that we have to get this book now and finish reading it. That's all you did.
Well, I'll give you the second half. Once I've gone through it, I have to edit it. I do my first edit, and so I'm changing a lot and finding a lot of little things, which is expected. That's the normal way of writing, and you got to go through it. Some people go through it 7 times, their own book 7 times, and then they give it to other people, and they go through it 2 or 3 times, and then you get this finished product. Writing is not easy. Writing fiction is one of the hardest things I've ever done, as far as any writing project. Writing theology, no problem, because in writing fiction, you have to write descriptions, and the problem is, how do you convey emotion? You don't say, oh, she really got upset and he yelled at her, and so she didn't like that and said, go away. That's not how you do it. She's really upset. She clenched her jaw and lowered her brows as she tapped her foot and glanced over at a piece of wood next to his head. You get the idea. She's pissed off. So you got to do it like that, and to do that repeatedly throughout the story in different ways, so it's not repetitive, is a challenge.
Right.
All right, I guess I'm gonna get going. As you can tell, I'm still processing stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much for Patreon tonight, and see you guys later.
Hi,
Yeah.
bye.
Oh, hi, Melissa. Didn't see you in there. How long you been in here?
Few minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I just gave them my first half of my sci-fi novel in Word. They can go over and edit it and give you some comment, give you some feedback. Looking for feedback, whatever impressions they have. So I was just talking to them about it after other stuff we're talking about too. I'm tired, and I got a meeting here in 5 minutes I got to get to.
Ah,
All right.
So sorry, Melissa. I was talking
That's okay.
to some people in Mexico and in Colombia. So I was doing Spanish, speaking in Spanish a lot. Whenever I speak in Spanish for very long, my brain starts going really fast because I speak quickly in Spanish, and you have to really concentrate to do other stuff. So I'll crash later.
Well, thank you.
All right, you guys. I'll see you. God bless. I really appreciate you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, see ya.